Who is actually gonna pick up the mantle after Donald Trump either admits that he can't run for a third term or the McDonald's habit throughout his life actually catches up to his arteries? Well, I don't know, but Fox News seems to be putting their thumb on the scale with some of the recent comments they've made about both JD Vance and, interestingly, Marco Rubio. Take a look.
Do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you?
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at JD Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here.
Who do you see as your successor, Mr. President?
Well, it's far too early to say that, but I do have a vice president, and typically it would be, and JD's doing a fantastic job.
He would be at the top of the list?
It could very well be. I don't want to get involved in that. I think he's a fantastic, brilliant guy. Marco is great. There's a lot of them that are great. I also see tremendous unity, but certainly you would say that somebody's the VP. If that person is outstanding, I guess that person would have an advantage.
Did you notice how many times Donald Trump mentioned Marco Rubio?
He likes him a lot.
That really, I thought was very telling in that interview.
The real kind of underlying headline there was there is no heir apparent that President Trump has chosen. Just because JD Vance is his running mate doesn't mean he's going to hand a baton to him.
Okay, so I think that's fascinating for a couple different reasons. First of all, I have to admit, Trump there, I think, was more complimentary towards JD Vance than we've seen in the past. He used to be much more dismissive when the topic was brought up, so okay, credit to JD Vance. Whatever he's doing apparently is working on Donald Trump. And I mean that literally. I don't know what he's doing. He's like, other than him berating Zelensky, I literally couldn't tell you what JD Vance has been up to for the past couple of months. So that doesn't bode well for his future when he won't have a lot of like things he can point to that he succeeded as VP. But Trump, again, doesn't want to endorse him, which is strange because Trump has never been hesitant to endorse people. He wants credit for everything. But when Fox came out of that little tidbit there, they didn't acknowledge how much he was talking about JD Vance. They wanted to focus only on Marco Rubio, which makes it seem to me like that's who they prefer for some reason. I don't even necessarily know exactly why, Luke. Do you have any theories? Where do you think it's going?
This is the thing. I remember my poor father, I remember talking to him, and he, during the Republican primary, he was like, there's no way that Trump will be nominated again. And I just kept saying, it's gonna be Trump. This party is to its DNA now, MAGA. And the reason why Fox hosts are so desperately going, you saw her go, it's just kind of interesting. Oh, Marco Rubio, just kind of fascinating. Marco, trying to make sure that's the headline, that's the focus, is because these hosts, no matter how much they run cover for Trump and MAGA, they want so badly for this era to come to an end as well. I would too if I defended him every day. It's humiliating. And so they're trying to sort of like wishful thinking. They're trying to do some manifestation, getting Marco Rubio. I might be wrong here, and I'll do something embarrassing to myself if I am, but I think there's zippo chance that Marco Rubio would be the current Republican Party's nominee, because even though he's going along with everything Trump wants, he just stinks of old guard Republican Party too much, sort of that old GOP that Trump dismantled from within. But the other part is, while the base is large enough of the Republican Party to sort of guarantee a MAGA nominee, it feels the rest of the country is going to be so repulsed by Trump's brand by the end of his term, is my prediction, that they're going to be in a tough place, because JD Vance, similar to sort of what Kamala got caught up in, but I think will be even worse for Trump's successor. She kind of wanted to be her own thing, but couldn't, as the vice president, say, yeah, I disagree with all these things with the president. And so he'll be stuck. I think it's more likely than Rubio. It's maybe as likely as Vance that Donald Trump Jr. becomes the nominee, which I've seen some reporting is why Trump won't affirmatively say Vance.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about Donald Trump Jr. I mean, I have no doubt that he wants that. I agree with almost everything that you said there. I think that the weight of the administration will be higher on Vance than it was on Harris even. And I think his inability to distance himself will be even worse, because the cult around Trump is 1,000 times stronger than the cult around Biden ever was. And so I think that that's a difficult position to be in if you're JD Vance. And I agree with you that, like, I do think secretly, not all of the hosts, but some of them are just like, can we just go back to the normal thing? Like, we'll demonize immigrants a little bit. They've got to be so bored about talking about trans people. Because remember, like 4 years ago, none of them thought about trans people because trans people don't actually infringe on people's lives on a daily basis. But like having to do like an hour on trans people every day has got to be so boring for these people. And so, yeah, I think they just want to go back to a Marco Rubio. Like, we'll get our tax cuts or whatever. Maybe we'll have a war with Iran and then that'll be cool.
But it'll be like a fun one. It'll be a fun, cute war with Iran though.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I don't know that they can get past them. I mean, look, if JD Vance is the guy and loses, or if it's Tucker Carlson and he loses, then maybe we can talk about like a different Republican Party. But it's hard to imagine from my point of view at this point that they would go back to a regular Republican politician.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And it's become impossible too to make these sorts of. I think the Trump prediction was easy because it was his party, and if he ran again, he would get the nominee. But after that, we've seen this in special elections, off-year elections, midterm elections. Anytime Trump's not on the ballot, it's not like his base is attached to the GOP, but now the GOP needs his base to create the current coalition that has won Trump these 2 elections. And so they're gonna, but I don't even want to make a prediction of, it's gonna be so impossible for someone else to take up the mantle, because I've just lost all faith that we as people will make rational decisions. So with that being said, I think if I were to be rational, that Trump will have divided into those 2 sections, or the old Republican Party that's now eensy weensy and his version of it, and his version will be toxic enough where they'll be up a stream without a paddle or whatever. But we'll see.